Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. The views and opinions expressed in this video and on UME Radio YouTube channel are those of the host and or the guests and do not necessarily reflect the opinion of UME Radio YouTube channel.
Are you ready for the weekend?
Weekend on UME Radio. Get the UME Radio app.
Weekends on UME Radio. The sun is up and so are we. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, all at UME Radio.
UME Radio. Positive entertainment 24/7. Subscribe on YouTube and click the notification bell.
Good morning, good morning. Can you hear me? I'm not sure. Good morning and welcome to UME Radio. This is the weekend show. And let me just test to make sure that you are actually hearing me. Just one moment. And let me just, there we go. So you are hearing me. Welcome to the weekend show. I'm DJ Kelly, and today Jessie is traveling, and so I'm just going to try and fit in for her. How are you feeling today? Are you feeling wonderful? Are you feeling good about life? Are you feeling positive? Because today is a great day. It's a wonderful day, and we're going to have a wonderful time. So I just want to invite you into the room, into the space. I just want to invite you to join us, be with us, go with us on this journey. It is such a pleasure being here with you. It's a new day. Today is November 27. Oh my goodness, it's almost Christmas. I hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving, and it was very restful for me. I hope it was restful for you too. I hope you had a fun time. Here on weekends, we share stories, engage in conversations, and gain insight into or share insight into issues affecting our communities in New York, the Caribbean, Africa, of course. And of course, we're looking to having a fantastic show and just an idea of what is coming up. And before we go to that, I want to say thank you, huge thank you to you for joining us every day, to all our partners, subscribers, supporters, listeners, those who comment, and the viewers and listeners that tune into UME Radio every single day for positive entertainment 24/7. We just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Today, this week, on the weekend show, we have our weekly roundup. So we go through what's happening in the news. We look at inspiring stories. We share information on wealth, health, fitness, positive thinking, and all that good stuff. And we also look at travel and all of that. So remember, though, before we go any further, to like this video, share this video. Please subscribe to UME Radio YouTube channel to support us so we can grow and expand and continue to do this. So if you find value in it, please share, like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell, the notification button, so that you can be notified, and select all so you can be notified whenever we go live or whenever we upload a new video. Thank you so much for joining us. And in case you miss any of our episodes, you can go to umeradio.com/weekends, or you can go to our app, which is at app, that's app.umeradio.com, to listen or watch any of our episodes. Let me just bring this up for you so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. There we go. So you can go to, we're on all the digital platforms where you find podcasts or where you can listen to music. We're on the Apple Play Store and the Google Play Store as UME Radio. That's the letter UM, the letter M, the letter E, RADIO. Yes. And you can also listen to us on iTunes, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Google, Podbean, TuneU, Spotify, Stitcher, Player FM, Listen Notes, Anchor, Caribvision, and also you can watch and listen to us on YouTube. So welcome, 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 welcome to the weekends. Thank you for joining us. This is Weekends with Jessie. And again, I'm DJ Kelly, sitting in for Jessie because she is traveling today. So we're going to go to before we go to our daily bread, because we like to open with a devotion. And today we're also going to have a special feature, This Day in History. But before we go, just let me just give you an idea of what's coming up in the show. If you're joining for the first time, for those of you who have been here before, you may have some idea, but let's go over it again. So coming up in our show today, we'll be looking at what's happening on the front page of the New York Times, CARICOM Today, and top stories in Africa. Followed by this, we'll have Get Fit with professional athlete and fitness coach Diondre Borel. He's coming live. He's joining us live from Tennessee. And then we have Entertainment Now, and today we have a special feature interview with Orville Sutherland, a gospel artist out of Jamaica. We then have Wealth Mindset with Marsha Gay Miles. She's a digital wealth creator and lifestyle engineer, and she joins us from Jamaica. You should tune in for that show. Well, I mean, all the shows, but that one, I'm telling you, like you cannot afford to miss it. And then we have Travel Boss, which is another fantastic show with Keith, businessman and musician, and he is joining live from New York. It's a multinational show, so we designed it this way with the hope that it can bring varying perspectives. You know, I think we're in a society now. We kind of get to a place where we need more diversification. Yeah, we need to diversify or something like that. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, today I'm going to be looking at Gallup's latest and best discoveries, and they were looking at migrants today. And I'm going to be sharing that as well with you for our hot topic. So stick around. We're going to go into our devotion now, which is very important. And we just want to say a very special thank you to Our Daily Bread for consistently and continuously bringing devotional content that we can use and share with you. You know, I enjoy their program, and it also makes it more fun. Yeah. So it is my hope that you enjoy it. And so we are now going to our devotion for today. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we hope that this program will be an inspiration for you. We hope it will educate and motivate you. So thank you so much for joining. I'm DJ Kelly, and you are listening to UME Radio, and this is the Weekend Show.
Welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. I'm Arthur Jackson, and I wrote today's devotion titled, Old Faith. After Prem Pradham's plane was shot down during World War II, he was wounded while parachuting to safety. As a result, he walked with a limp for the rest of his life. He once noted, "I have a lame leg. Isn't it strange of God that he called me to preach the gospel in the Himalaya mountains?" And preach in Nepal he did, but not without opposition that included imprisonment in dungeons of death, where prisoners faced extreme conditions. In a span of 15 years, Prem spent 10 years in 14 different prisons. His bold witness, however, bore the fruit of changed lives for Christ that included guards and prisoners who took the message of Jesus to their own people. The Apostle Peter faced opposition due to his faith in Jesus and for being used by God to heal a man who was lame in Acts chapter 4. But he used the opportunity to speak boldly for Christ. Today, like Peter, we too may face opposition. Yet we have family members, co-workers, fellow students, and others we know who desperately need to hear about the one in whom salvation is found, who died as a payment for our sins and was raised from the dead as proof of his power to forgive. May they hear as we prayerfully and boldly proclaim this good news of salvation found in Jesus. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Acts chapter 4, verses 8 to 13. Then Peter, filled with the Holy Spirit, said to them, "Rulers and elders of the people, If we are being called to account today for an act of kindness shown to a man who was lame and are being asked how he was healed, then know this, you and all the people of Israel. It is in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, whom you crucified, but whom God raised from the dead, that this man stands before you healed. Jesus is the stone you builders rejected, which has become the cornerstone. Salvation is found in no one else, for there is no other name under heaven given to mankind by which we must be saved. When they saw the courage of Peter and John and realized that they were unschooled, ordinary men, they were astonished, and they took note that these men had been with Jesus. Let's pray. Father, thank you for what you've done for us. Help us in Jesus' name to boldly share our faith with others. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Wow. Amazing, 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 amazing. God must be glorified. Lord, we commit the show in thy hands. We wake up early in the morning and we prepare for it all throughout the week, God, because we are seeking to be in obedience of your word. And this, to you who are listening, all of this, all of what we do is about divine purpose. And it is our hope that as we pursue purpose and as we seek to be obedient to the call, that you'll be inspired, educated, and motivated. That's why we do this. So again, I am DJ Kelly sitting in for Jessie, who's traveling today. Jessie, wherever you are, shouting out to you. And thank you for those of you who are joining us. Please remember to just drop a comment so I can know who you are, where you're from, and I can give you a shout out too. Yes, so let's get into the news. But before we go to the New York Times, I just want to share with you what's on UME Radio news page today. And why do we go through the news and why do we share this with you? It's important for us to know what's happening in our world, wouldn't you say? It's very important. I think at the start of the day, it's important to kind of have an idea of what's going on in the rest of the world. I think it also helps us to become help us to walk in gratitude especially when we connect to see that there's so many different things happening in the world. Some things good, some things not so good, and some just seemingly terrible, and it helps you reflect on your own life and realize what you need to be thankful for. And so that's what this is really, really about. It's about being in the know. Stay in touch with not only your own communities and local neighborhoods, but also neighboring countries, especially those with whom we share ancestral connections, And so I'm happy to update you on what is happening in New York, where UME Radio is based, and also in the Caribbean and Africa, with whom we share such rich history. So let's go through what's on UME Radio news page, just kind of see what the headlines are, and then we're going to go to the New York Times. Yeah, so on here we can see this is our featured page where we're looking at what's happening with, and just to to be clear, some of these names I try to learn the pronunciations, but I'm still not so good with it. So please bear with me. If you have the correct pronunciation or if you think I said it wrong, then please feel free to say so. It's okay. So we have different statements here from different reports from Governor Hochul. That's the governor of New York. Yes. And so they're different. So if you come on our page, you'll see the different highlights from her. Let's go to this one. So the statement from Governor Kathy on new COVID variant. And then she announces completion of flood resiliency program. And then she also announces the start of winter. Yes. And then in the Caribbean headlines here, we have Barbados Solar Energy Pioneer is CARICOM Energy Month awardee. And then we have CARICOM joins Suriname's celebration of its 44th. I'm not quite sure what that is, but you can check it out. I don't want to click on it because it's going to take you to the story and it's going to remove it from where I'm at. And I just really want to just give you an overview of what it is and invite you, please go to umeradio.com/news to read the full story. And then you have expressions from the CARICOM chair. He expresses condolence to persons who have lost, have family members who they lost. And then from Africa, you have the Romanian National Bank launching its first banknote. And there's a case that's closed in Kenya. And then you have the Kenyan and South African presidents calling for peace. So those are some of the headlines on the UME radio page. And if you come down here, why didn't I just go here? You can see it, the headlines in full, and you can check it out. Please go to umeradio.com/news, and you can see all the updates on news from New York, the Caribbean, and Africa. It gives you a really good a good blend of all of it, so you can be in the know. It is important. As a matter of fact, it is critical for you to be in the know and know what's going on. Hi, Apostle Faith Walters. Good morning. Thanks for reaching out. Thanks for saying hello. Thanks for joining us and tuning in today. Wonderful. So now we are going to go through New York Times. So let's close this so we can go to the New York Times. Let's pull up the New York Times. Let's see what's on the front page. So New York Times, we want to thank the New York Times for producing such great work that we can reference every day. So the New York Times, all the news that's fit to print. And today will be partly cloudy, windy, cold, high 43. And that's for the weather. If you look over here, late edition. Tonight will be cloudy, flurries late, low 31, and tomorrow mostly cloudy. A rain and snow shower, high 40. And you can see the weather map on page B12 of the New York Times. Okay, so there's an interesting picture, if you can see it on the front page, and it says Black Friday doors reopen wide. Shoppers returned to stores like Macy's, Herald Square in bigger numbers than last year, but virus concerns remain, and that story is on page B1. New variant stirs fears of setback, travel bans rise. Ooh, travel bans rise. That's interesting. Markets tumble and optimism wanes after cases found in South Africa. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Let's see if there's any clips in this. Oh, here we go. There was an interview. So let's see who this is speaking. Okay, so we are following the path of maximum caution, said Roberto Speranza, the health minister of Italy, which suffered terribly when COVID first hit Europe early last year. I just wanted to share a quote from the article with you. You can go ahead and read it. And the article was written by Richard and Jason Horowitz. Richard Perez Pena and Jason Horowitz. Markets tumble and optimism wanes after cases found in South Africa. Check that out. It's on the New York Times. And it's on the front page. The entire story is on the front page. It continues on page A7. You could check that out. Also on the front page, another headline, and we're just going through the headlines. Kushner chases Mideast money, seeking out investors in region he cultivated. And that article is by Kate Kelly, David D. Kirkpatrick, and Alan Rappaport. You could check that out. It's also on the front page of the newspaper, New York Times. And the next headline is Virtuoso Who Reshaped the Broadway Musical. And that's by Bruce Weber. I think it's pronounced Weber or something. But yeah, Weber. You can check that out as well. It's on the front page of the New York Times. And there's a photo of Stephen Sondheim in 1990. He was dazzling, versatile. That's what the headline says right here. There we go. Okay. In other headlines, you have Omicron mutations may allow a quick speed, World Health Organization says. That's another story That's on the New York Times, and it continues on page A6. It's on the front page. Another headline says, sly deceptions by fundraisers as they chase clicks and cash. That story is written by Shane Gold, by Shane. Check it out. And there's a photo there as well. Rivals copied the Beetle brand. So you can check that one out as well. It's on the front page. And other headlines on the front page, international headline, financial woe in Afghanistan. And a national headline, critique of drilling report. In sports, NHL, crisis for Quebec. And in arts, a wandering creativity. And they also have the opinions, the opinion pages from a 20 to 21. Check that out. So we just want to say thanks to the New York Times. Those were the stories making the headlines on the New York Times today. We just want to say a huge thank you to New York Times for their hard work that we are able to benefit from. We have to value these things. Just imagine what the world would be like without news. If you did not know what was going on in the world, what would that be like? When you have family living in different parts of the world and things like that, we should not take it for granted, and we really should pay attention to what's happening in other parts of the world. And so we're now going to go to the Caribbean. We know New York is a melting pot, right, of culture. It's with people from different parts of the world, and the Caribbean is one of those predominant culture that's in New York. You have a lot of people with Caribbean roots that's there, and so it's important to know what's going on. So today we want to create the today.caricom.org for the news, the latest from the Caribbean community. And if for those who don't know, CARICOM is like the body of government that governs the Caribbean islands. We don't really have a Caribbean union, so to speak, like you have the United States of America. We don't really have the United Caribbean, so to speak, but CARICOM is like that united voice, or that global voice that represents, or that seeks to represent the Caribbean islands and those who are members of CARICOM. CARICOM means Caribbean community, as you can see up here if you're looking at my screen. See my mouse? Yeah, Caribbean community. So the latest from the Caribbean community, here we go. We're just doing the headlines just to keep you updated. So Barbados solar energy pioneer is CARICOM Energy Month awardee. We'll share that with you from UMERADIO news page. And yes, you can read more on that. There's another. Okay, so Barbados solar energy pioneer, Mr. James Husbands, Managing Director of Solar Dynamics Limited, is the year's CARICOM Energy Achievement Awardee. Congratulations, sir, on good work, on your good work. Solar energy is important. We know what's happening with climate change. I'm assuming we know what's happening with climate change. The place is so hot. I'm telling you, it's so hot. It's no joke. So climate change is very important. So we want to salute those who are taking steps towards healing the land. Yeah. Also, here are some featured story in Grenada. You have Grenada updates protocols for fully vaccinated travelers. You can check that out, and that's by a staff writer. You can check that out on today.caricom.org. And then you have BVI, that's the British Virgin Island, announces no entry testing for fully vaccinated travelers. No entry testing. Oh, okay, cool. For fully vaccinated travelers. And you have the last mile to MC12. That's another headlines that's on the front page of the website. And then you have FAO Cardi explore fish silage as viable option for animal feed. Guyanese law student cops Rhodes Scholarship. CDB remembers Sir James as an early supporter of the bank. And then continuing our headlines, we have Caribbean mom wins 2 tickets to space. Ooh, Caribbean mom. There's so many thoughts that ran through my mind just now. Oh my goodness. Positive thinking, Raquel. Positive thinking. Caribbean mom wins 2 tickets to space in Virgin Galactic raffle. Very well then. CARICOM joins Suriname's celebration of its 46th independence anniversary. CARICOM SG, I think that's Secretary General, calls for inclusive approaches to end violence against women. You know, I hear a lot about violence against women, but do you know there's a lot of violence against men too? I hope they have programs for that as well. Yeah, and then if you go on the website, you can see more information on CARICOM at work, personality, and also other in-depth stories. So this is what's on CARICOM, what we're sharing with you from CARICOM News today. Yeah, those are all the headlines that are on the front page. Wow, interesting. I love knowing what's going on in my world, and I hope this is helpful for you. Oh, wow, we have like 5 minutes to go, and I have not yet done Africa News. Okay, so let's quickly go through what's happening in Africa. Okay, so you have South Africans react to new COVID-19 variant. You have Christmas parade kicks off festivities in Bolivia. Hundreds of people gathered in Madrid to welcome the Christmas season, and you have Pinball Museum in Russia. You can please go to africanews.com to get all the latest information in what is happening in Africa. It says only 1 in 4 health workers in Africa, or they're referencing the coronavirus. You should check it out. There's a lot of stories of that I think are very interesting. In Morocco, they say travelers scramble to beat deadline for border. Yeah, so those are some of the news making the headlines in New York, the Caribbean, and Africa. And there's just one thing I wanted to share with you from Gallup. Gallup shared the latest and best discoveries, and they're looking at migration, and migration is a topic that's very important to me. It should be important to all of us, right? And so here we go. It's not long, so let's get on through this. All right. So world grows less accepting of migrants. Canada, number 1 for migrants. US in 6th place. Migrants' desire to move again hinges on where, how they live. Newest potential net migrant index shows gains and losses. Record numbers of Americans want to leave the US. That's interesting. Acceptance higher among people who know migrants. Migrant acceptance in Canada, US follows political lines. Japan may want migrants more than they want Japan. That's interesting. Migrant policies, this is the final one. Migrant policies, attitudes in sync worldwide. So that's what's making the news today. And before we go, I just want to share with you this day in history feature, and this is courtesy of history.com. Thank you so much for joining us this morning for Weekends with Jesse. Of course, we have professional athlete Diondre Borel coming up with Get Fit, Mind, Body, and Soul. So make sure you stay tuned. So let's go to and we also have our Power Minute. Do we have time? Yes, we do. Let's go to, these are 2 minutes. So let's first go to This Day in History, then Power Minute, then we're out. Thank you so much for joining me this morning for Weekends with Jess. I'm DJ Kelly sitting in for Jess, who is traveling today. So thank you so much for joining us.
Here's a look at this day in history. November 27th.
On this day in 1924, New York's Macy's department store held its first Thanksgiving Day parade, complete with floats, bands, and live animals. In 1978, San Francisco Mayor George Moscone and Supervisor Harvey Milk were murdered in City Hall by a disgruntled former city official. In 2005, doctors in France performed the world's first partial human face transplant. The patient lost her nose, lips, and chin after being mauled by her dog. And on this day in 1095, Pope Urban II called for able-bodied Christians to liberate Jerusalem from the Muslims. Seljuk Turks were prohibiting Christian pilgrimages to the Holy Land. Armies rallied behind the banner of the Red Cross, and the bloody crusades began. And that's this day in history.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Now, our final clip before we go is our Power Minute, and today we're going to be hearing from Mel Robbins. I wish you the best. May you have a fantastic and a phenomenal day today. God bless you. Have a great day. Now, time for our Power Minute with Mel Robbins.
Let's say you're running a road race, right? And you're running and you're feeling kind of tired, right? And I'm a stranger on the side. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
It's more than a...
make you feel better just you high-fiving me.
Why?
I just felt like you cheered me on.
Correct.
Like you believe in me.
I transferred my belief to you. I'm here to tell you, you can source that from within. You can. So confidence is one thing it communicates. You're right.
Yeah, that was so powerful. And then the next one, celebration, which we already covered, where you said, like, basically, you are amazing. You're telling yourself you have a right to celebrate yourself. And what you said, by the way, was so strong that we will celebrate other people, but we won't celebrate ourselves until we feel like we have done something.
Yes. You have done something. Every single morning. You've woken up and you're breathing. That's it. Like, think about what it's like to walk into a crowded room and nobody says hello to you. We've all had that experience, right? Of walking into, like, think back to middle school. When you walk into the cafeteria and you're looking for a place to sit and nobody acknowledges you. Like, you just want to disappear in that moment.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you have made yourself feel like that. And so there is this moment in the mirror where when you see yourself and you celebrate and high five yourself, you're acknowledging your own existence because you've literally been ignoring yourself. You talk about these themes all the time on the show of self-love and self-confidence and self-awareness. And we've all heard that phrase, you got to put your oxygen mask on first. You got to put yourself first. Nobody knows how to do it. And you do it by fulfilling your own needs. And you can start every day doing it.
Good morning. I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to Get Fit Mind, Body, and Soul. Today's a beautiful day. Today's a great day. Today is a blessed day because you woke up on this morning. So I'm very grateful for today. Man, I hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving. And if anything, thankful for what you were able to do during the week. I'm personally thankful for God just keeping me and keeping me ready, getting me prepared, and always loving me for who I am, for where I'm at right now, and not where I can be, but where I'm at right now. And sometimes that's where we need to love people where they are at in this moment, and keep showing compassion to others. So I want to start off with Bible verse, Psalm 27. I was actually reading this yesterday, and this is a Bible verse, not even a verse, but the chapter, Psalm 27, that my mom told me to read when I was a kid. And if anything, I would always just read that. If I didn't know what to do, I would just read Psalm 27. So I'm going to read it now, and then I'm going to go into prayer, and then we'll go into the segment, and we have a special guest today. So I'll go into the segment after this verse or after this chapter in prayer. So it's Psalm 27. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked came against me to eat up my flesh, my enemies and foes, they stumbled and fell. Though an army may encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war may rise against me, in this I will be confident. One thing I have desired of the Lord, that I will seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life to behold the beauty of the Lord and to inquire in his temple. For in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion, in the secret place of his tabernacle. He shall hide me. He shall set me high upon a rock. And now my head shall be lifted up above my enemies all around me. Therefore I will offer sacrifices of joy in his tabernacle. I will sing, yes, I will sing praises to the Lord. Hear, O Lord, when I cry with my voice, have mercy also upon me and answer me. When you said, seek my face, my heart said to you, your face, Lord, I will seek. Do not hide your face from me. Do not turn your servant away in anger. You have been my help. Do not leave me nor forsake me, O God of my salvation. When my father and my mother forsake me, then the Lord will take care of me. Teach me your way, O Lord, and lead me in a smooth path because of my enemies. Do not deliver me to the will of my adversaries, for false witnesses have risen against me, and such as breathe out violence. I would have lost heart unless I had believed that I would see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. So that is Psalm 27 is what my mom gave me when I was a kid, and I would always read it. So, dear Heavenly Father, we're just thankful for today. We're thankful for the week that we had. We're thankful for the people that surround us, that are in our corner, the people that surround us that believe in us. We're thankful for the protection that's around us, God, the protection, the people that you put in place to protect us. You send in your angels from up above to help us and guide us and put us in the right direction, keeping us from hurt, harm, and danger throughout our days, throughout our walk. It's just amazing that you do it consistently, and you do it because you love us, because you want us to succeed, you want us to be in the right place. The opportunities you give us, God, you give us so many. So we ask that we take advantage of the opportunities, the God opportunities, and see the God opportunities so we don't miss out on them. And keep helping us with our purpose, God. Keep helping those in the world with their identity, seeing who they truly are, who they are in you, God. Because the world right now is suffering from an identity crisis. They don't know who they truly are. And they want to be what others want them to be. They want to be what social media wants them to be. And they're chasing after the wrong thing, God. They need to be chasing after you, Lord, so they can see who they truly are, so they can live in peace, so they can be calm, be powerful, and operate in purpose. So God, I ask that you help those in need with their identity, strengthen their mind to fight against the enemy, and for them to go to you for guidance and strength as well, because we can't do it on our own. But we do have a choice, God. You gave us free will. So God, I ask that you protect us, that we make the right choices, that we surround ourselves with knowledge and wisdom, because we can always learn no matter who we are or our age or what we've learned. It's always important to learn from others and understand other people and other perspectives. And if it's elevating us, God, then we're all for it. And if it's a God conversation, a God idea, God opportunities, a God appointment, for us to take advantage of it. To protect us throughout this day, give us the strength, give us the focus, give us the favor, discernment, and grace, and just continue to work in our lives, God. And for us just to level up in faith, joy, peace, happiness, health, wealth in every area of our lives, and for us to keep preparing every area of our lives so we're ready for everything, God. Everything that we always dreamed of, everything that we've always asked for, our heart's desire. Because, God, at times we, as people, only prepare for one thing. And then when you try to bless us, or when you bless us with something else, we don't know how to receive it. And that's why it's important to prepare in all areas of our lives, God. To prepare us in every area of our lives so we don't miss out on your blessings, God. Keep protecting us and cover us from the crown of our heads to the soles of our feet. In Jesus' name, amen. So, guys, today we're going to talk about vitamins, okay? There are certain vitamins that you take that you need in your body, and this is Think Health. This is an article here, and it talks about 13 vitamins that you can take, 13 vitamins that you need, 13 vitamins that are essential for you, because we cannot produce some of these vitamins here. And as a kid, we would take vitamins. In this article, it talks about taking the Flintstone vitamins. We'll take vitamins as a kid, and as we get older, we need those nutrients in our body. We need those vitamins in our body to help us, to give us the energy, give us the strength. Here's a list of some of them here. I have them in my phone. Vitamin A. Okay, there's vitamin A. It helps with your immune system and your vision. Okay. They're found in foods. These vitamins are in foods as well. So in this article, it gives you what they do, what they're for, how much to take, and also what foods you can eat, so you can get those vitamins. So, I'm not a guy that takes a lot of vitamins. So just me reading this and being in the fitness world, it's new to me with vitamins, because people say, take your vitamins, take your vitamins. My mom always said, take your vitamins. But for me, it's like, what do I need to take vitamins for? But they are key in a lot of things. That helps with your vision. Vitamin C helps with your immune system. It helps you produce collagen. So collagen, that gives you the flexibility, your tendons to be flexible. As you get older, what's the right word? Yeah, as you get older, I'd say take more collagen. Like when I tore my Achilles tendon, I was taking collagen so I can have more flexibility in those tendons, in those joints, in my body. Vitamin D helps you with your bones. It helps absorb calcium. So strong bones, you want healthy bones. Vitamin E helps protect against free radicals. So all these vitamins are key to your body. Vitamin K aids in blood clotting, health in bones. Vitamin B2, as you scroll down, is riboflavin. So that's vitamin B2. Helps convert food into energy, important for growth and function in our cells, and helps with our metabolism. And that's just a few. There's so many vitamins that we need to take. And it's always important to not take too much of one thing, because it can do more damage than good. And that's another thing. I think that's just with any kind of food you eat, any kind of drink that you decide to drink. If you drink too much of it, you eat too much of it, it does more damage than good. So I know, for example, one of my friends, Robert Turbin, plays the NFL, and he was low in vitamin D. And he had to go to the doctors for that and take tests and see what he needed to take. So he was low in vitamin D, and that's what he needed to take. He was low on his energy. That's something we can produce on our own. but he was low in energy, and he was just like, man, I was trying to figure out why I was tired, why I was feeling this way. And it's just important. So that's another way you can also see your levels of what you're lacking in by going to the doctor, setting up an appointment, seeing what vitamins and what area you're lacking in. And you can always take the right amount for you, specifically for you, um, because they're just going to give you the general of what we should take every day. So some of us may need more than that. So just important to know what your levels are and what you need to do. Um, and I'm going to personally start taking more vitamins because, I want my body to stay healthy, stay ready to go. You never know, I might go out and play again. So besides that, I do have a guest here that'll be coming on right now. There he is, the man himself, the baller himself, the man of God right there, Jeff Trotter. So go ahead and introduce yourself, talk about where you're from, talk about your basketball history, your athletic background.
Trey, what's going on, man? Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear
How
me?
are you? Yes, I can hear you.
Good, good, good. I appreciate you allowing me to be a part of what you're doing, man. Yeah,
For
like you said,
sure.
my name's Jeff Trotter. I hail from Atlanta, Georgia. I currently living here in Memphis, Tennessee, where I've been serving in different ministry capacities. I'm the special projects assistant to the senior pastor at Hope Church. I've also worked with numerous nonprofit organizations across Tennessee. Most of my time was spent with the Memphis Athletic Ministries. I love sports just like DeAndre does. Um, but my realm was more in basketball than football. And I spent about 10 years working with the Memphis Athletic Ministries. But like you said, man, I love to create, period. I love art. I'm a recording artist, entrepreneur, and an actor as well. But enough about me, man. I know you got all the questions. I just want to say once again, it's humbling to be here and to be a part of the show, man.
For sure, for sure. I just want to know, like, so what what is your message? What is your message when it comes to art? How do you, with art, because you're an artist and you're an artist, so you do both. So, what is your message when it comes to your artwork and being a recording artist? What is it that you want the people to hear, to see, to know with the work that you do?
hmm hmm Well, I- I'm an artist. I believe I'm an artist first. You may hear from other Christian recording artists or Christian artists, and they may say that they're Christian first. Now, for me, I know that my identity is found in Christ and Christ alone, but I was an artist before I became a Christian. So I try to keep one hand in the world and one hand in the scripture so I can bridge the gap between the two. So it can look like a current event. Like right now, I'm working on a piece. I don't know if you heard in the news and the media about the rapper Young Dolph that had been shot and killed here in Memphis, Tennessee. Lately, I've been working on a piece for some people, just paying homage or respect to some of the things that he was doing. Working on a piece there, but musically, I try to meet the need that I see in culture, what I believe God would have us to say and demonstrate from the scripture to try to keep my relevance. I think sometimes you have Christian artists that label themselves as that as a Christian person. That's good, but sometimes their work tends to stay just in the circle of the church, and you're not reaching and impacting the world as much. So,
Oh,
just to answer your question. So, I guess for me, what I want to communicate through my artwork is an appeal for non-believers to see the glory of God through the way that I work, through the exceptional work that you produce, right? You want to hone your craft as unto God. So I want it to be appealing to non-believers and pointing to God and glorifying Him. And for the believers, I want it to be encouraging or edifying for believers that are inside of the Christian faith. I want it to be encouraging for them to say, hey, just like God is shining his light through this person's work, he wants to shine his light in and through me and what God has designed me for, what he's created me for as well.
For sure. Yeah, I like that because then you can relate to them and, your personal experience. I'm pretty sure you've been through a lot, trials and tribulation, and the way you're wanting to reach people is an open door for everybody. So they can come in. You're more than welcome to come in. I'm not perfect. I've been through what you've been through. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
judging you. But here you go. Like, this is what I'm offering right here. This is what you're gonna hear. So, that I think that's pretty good. The outreach is gonna be bigger than probably what you've been thinking about. So I know it's gonna be big, and I can see it in your face. I can see it.
Well,
Like,
look, man,
do it
if you
big.
survived outside, if you're still alive right now, you made it through 2020, then everybody needs a little encouragement. Everybody's gonna need a pick me up in some way or another.
For
Like you said
sure.
earlier, I know you've been through a lot. Everybody's been through a lot. If you're still surviving outside of 2020, so yeah,
For sure.
we've all been there.
So let's talk about one of your testimonies. Let's talk about a physical. I know we talked about this earlier. I asked you some questions before during the week. Let's talk about your physical testimony, a mental testimony, spiritual testimony, or if they all tie in together, how they all tied in together. And I guess I would say, yeah, just how they all tied in together. Maybe one thing happened and the next thing happened, the next thing happened, and now you're like, okay, this is what it was all for. Maybe it's one of those
Hmm.
testimonies. They all just connected.
Yeah, man, it's kind of hard to know where to start. As far as the physical testimony, just talking geographically and my DNA, my family history and stuff. Like I said, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, man. I was born to two young teenagers. They got married. My mother and father. My dad was 17 when he got married, and my mom was 18. And they had six children. As young teenagers, they got married and started having kids. So it was a little hectic, coming up. And I never knew that in the situation we were in, because I grew up in poverty, uh, not like homeless shelters and things like that, but there were times where resources were very scarce, and you don't feel like you're living in poverty. You just think, oh, that's the way things are. But when I look back and remember the lights being cut off, or remember opening the fridge and no food being in there and certain things as a kid, you thought, oh, that was just the way things were. But I didn't realize God was using those moments to shape my heart for the ministry that I'm doing now. Living here in Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis, Tennessee has been one of the poorest cities in America for a long time. It's always up in the top three, sometimes number one. And I didn't realize how those hard times began to shape and mold my heart and compassion for the children that I serve and the people that I serve through homelessness and just having a lack of resources and things now. So growing up in Atlanta, I shared this with you personally before, DeAndre. My on my mother's side, I used to go to this old church called Rocky Mount Baptist Church, and I hated. I hated going. I was a kid, man. It was hot. This
Hmm.
little this little country town and everything, and I'm sweating. The old ladies had their paper fans and everything, and I'm like, oh my gosh, when is this gonna be over? I had no idea that my great grandfather had started that church and was doing ministry with Dr. King's family. And for me to go from those memories as a kid and watching my granddad serve and watching my ancestors serve at their church and in their community and doing things to make sure that people were eating, not just physically, but spiritually, and then to turn around and have God have me placed here in Memphis, Tennessee, and to cut my teeth on in ministry here. Um, I think God was definitely doing something like you talk about geographically. I was there experiencing those things, but He moved me to Memphis, and He's continuing that same type of mission now to where Dr. King died, pretty much doing the same thing. He went out on the Poor People's Campaign. And then for
Hmm.
me to work here with the inner city youth and looking at their situation, I'm like, man, God communicates things through bloodlines, and the work didn't stop with that one man. The work continues on because God
Right.
exists outside of, just our little lifespans. So it's a blessing to be here in the work, in this context. But yeah, that's a little bit, like I said, as far as physically. He took me from Atlanta and brought me here to Memphis and doing those same
Right.
things.
For sure. For sure. I know we got I think that's about our time right now, but I know we can always do a part two. So if you would like to
Mhm.
do a part two, we could do a part two next week. Get on the call, make something happen, because I know you have a lot to share. And I respect you as a person, man, and as a man of God. And we have a similar path with sports. Jeff is being very humble right now, but he's played basketball. And, I always like, come on, Jeff, let's be the 3-point shooter. We'd be at AAU basketball practice, and he's shooting threes. So I know he has a skill and a talent, physically, mentally, and spiritually, and he can give knowledge to these young adults, young kids. And I'm just thankful that I met him, and he's wanting to guide me and help me in my walk with the Lord, and however I can help him. That's amazing too. So that wraps up today's Get Fit Mind, Body, and Soul, you guys. We probably will do a part two. So like, comment, share, subscribe on YouTube, follow the Weekend Show, follow us all, follow UMERADIO, and let's get this thing going. So everyone have a blessed day, have a blessed evening, have a blessed week. Thank you.
The name of my book is Reborn. And Reborn is a story, a personal story about my journey from a place of despair to fulfilling God's purpose in my life. I have gone through a lot of challenges, a lot of, things that happened to me in my childhood all the way to my adulthood. And the Lord impressed on my heart to write my story, to share with others. Because, one thing about me, I'm transparent. And I believe when you share your testimony is to help somebody else get out of their situation. Because a lot of us go through a lot of changes, a lot of challenges in life. Especially, I grew up in the church world, a very strict environment, very religious environment. And it had a lot of, stressors in my life. I didn't know who I was as a little girl. I grew up with parents. My father was a pastor, and I was totally lost in this church world. I didn't know who I was, or if I was worth anything, or if I had any type of purpose in life. So my vision about God was so warped because I never thought God loved me the way they presented it. So I was a very lonely young lady. I had a lot of low self-esteem. So I was just really trying to maneuver and to find my way, through life. So it was God who helped me through the process, even though I wasn't focusing on Him as much. I want to share something, and chapter 2, page 17, Forsaken. I just want to read a little excerpt of it. And it says, in 1975, as I attended middle school and the family moved to a large 4-bedroom apartment building, was at this situation things began to worsen for me. For instance, I was punished a lot. At times I never understood why. My father never believed that Christians told lies. For instance, if someone from the church would report to him that they saw me somewhere and was doing something wrong, I would deny it. However, I would be told that I was a liar and received a beating for it. So I became so tired of constantly being blamed and beaten for situations where I didn't have any idea. So I tried harder to be good, but notice each time I tried, it wasn't enough. And I realized that each time I would speak things, my mother would tell me to be quiet. And after a while, she developed a resentment to me. And, so I struggled a lot to be a part of a family. I struggled a lot to be seen. I struggled a lot to be loved. And this book is to help others who are struggling to find out who they are and find out their identity and who they are in God and whose they are, because it's so important to find who you are, you find yourself, because once you know who you are and knows whose you are in God, you know, your life changes, and then you're on a path where you're evolving and growing and building, and you are increasing in self-esteem. And the more you understand yourself, is the better you are how to handle situations in your life and even handle people, you know, to work with people and to really learn how to be empathetic, learn how to, you know, reach out in some way, shape, or form, and to be where, you know, can be there in the moment with that person, because you understand where they're coming from, because you see a lot of what they're being challenged with is the same thing that you were dealing with in the past. So when God delivered me, I was able to share this story in order to help others to heal. I'm coming from someplace, a place of darkness. You know, a new me came forth, you know, and I'm like, God, this is a powerful title, you know, because it sends a message, you know, that when God rejuvenates your life, it's like you're you know, into a new person. You're very different, you know. It's like you're starting over again from scratch, you know. It's like, wow, you know, it's a new day, a new dawn, you know. So this title was so fitting for you know, my journey and where I came from.
Are you ready for the weekend?
Weekends on UME Radio. Get the UME Radio app.
Weekends on UME Radio. The sun is up and so are we. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, all at UME Radio.
UME Radio. Positive entertainment 24/7. Subscribe on YouTube and click the notification bell.
that you are. Who is Orville?
Well, Orville is a Jamaican gospel recording artist who is passionate about the things of Christ. I'm a family man and a preacher. And of course, I'm a marketer by profession, finance marketer, by the way. And
Oh, we got you on for our wealth segment. That would be awesome. So we have another question. What message do you have for artists in this season? And we could go a little bit deeper because we have the pandemic going on, but also artists who may be suffering from, a writer's block or something like that, and they don't have that inspiration. What message can you say to them?
well, a writer's block normally comes from confusion when you're basically thinking about the cares. You understand? You have different stuff in your mind.
Mhm.
You understand? Some persons, however, are motivated by um, different cares, different pressures. So they would write in that mode. But then it normally comes, a writer's block normally comes from confusion. What I tell them is, man, breathe a little bit. You understand? Think about all of the good things, because what I normally use to kind of like relax a little bit is measuring all of the good things, all the things that the Lord has done, and all of the bad things that is happening. And every time you do the measurement, whenever you put it in the balance, you realize that the good things outweighs the bad things, and then you realize that you're blessed. Once you have that spirit of gratitude, then you'll find that courage to pen again.
Yeah, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. We have another question and comment. So first one's more general. When you are not doing music, what do you love to do? Do you have a favorite food?
Favorite food? Well, I'm not really the food person, but probably.
You can't come back. You can't come back. What?
But for me, it's really seafood. And fish. I
Okay.
really love fish, seafood, fish, and of course I love football. So you'll see me playing football even when I have a interview in 1 hour. I'll be playing football.
Okay, you made up for that. Okay, we have another question that says, I like how authentic you are. What is your message to young people who fall victim to the quote unquote popular things of this world?
Whoa, that's a big one, because the truth is, the things of the world, the popular things of the world is really overwhelming. And if we, even as Christians, are not mindful, then we'll even fall victims ourselves. What I try to tell people though is, when you do the introspection and see, is the things that you're yearning for. You understand? Do these things really identify you? Because at the end of the day, you want to be true to yourself. You understand? So basically, it's know thyself, know yourself, and be true to who you are. Because 95% of the time, the things that we run to, the popular things, it really doesn't identify who we truly are. You understand? So even though we're pretending to be enjoying what is happening, the truth is we're really suffocating. So I'm saying, yo, just be true to yourself. Know who you are. You understand?
Yeah.
And if the popular things rocks your boat, you understand, ensure that you're doing it righteously. Because with everything that is out there, there is a segment for the righteous people. If you're partying, you can party righteously. Whatever you're doing, you can do it righteously. So if those popular things, you can definitely do it the righteous way.
Yeah. We have a comment with that says, well said. Completely correct. And I want to share a little bit with that question, whoever's listening, especially the young people. Kind of bit of a testimony was like senior year in high school, when like everyone leaves and stuff like that. And one girl was more on the popular end, and I was the girl that everyone knew, but I wasn't part of any particular, I had my friends, but everyone knew somehow. And she came up one of the last days of schools and said, I was always jealous of you. And she always
Wow.
was like a certain. I'm like, why?
Wow. Wow.
And she's
Yeah.
like, because you're just really nice and everyone really like, and you're just genuine. I'm like, I'm just genuine me. She was part of the group, that popular group, you can imagine. And so I was jealous of you. And I'm just like, I was friends with everyone. Don't fit into the popular group because you don't know what they're going through. They may not even like it themselves because they're not authentically them.
Come on.
So,
You understand?
gonna put that out there, guys.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we have a comment that says, "Oh wow, kudos to her for speaking out loud." Yes, I wouldn't. Last day of school was the last day of school in high school too, so I ain't gonna see her again. But
Yeah.
we have another comment that says, "Okay, we're gonna bring it to current events." I don't know if you saw the Little Nas X video that's been going around the internet. And this person asks, "What are your thoughts of the popular Little Nas X video with all of the naked men?"
Well, I've probably seen different clips of it, but a lot of confusion with Little Nas, and of course, I kind of pity him, and if I could share space with him, I would definitely want to share with him, bro. You're full of influence and you're full of potential. You don't have to you don't have to be reckless and careless with it. You understand? Because a lot of people, a lot of young people watching you.
Yes.
You can channel that same energy and that same amount of popularity into a good thing. And there is a wonderful self-fulfillment that you'll feel when you actually know that, listen, you could be all of the crazy that Little Nas is being, but you can actually channel it into something positive and right. And of course, you'll feel so wonderful in yourself. And I would really like to share that with him.
Yeah.
You understand? I believe he's having a confused moment. And I really pity because he has a lot of influence. So that could be good for this generation globally.
Yes, he does. He does. It kind of reminded me of a way Justin Bieber when he was going through his moment. Granted, Justin was popular when he was like 12, so I could somewhat like get that, but there is something that comes with popularity, not to say that we worship celebrities or anything like that, but when you have that influence to impact on the world, you were given that for a reason.
Definitely. And I normally tell people that, listen, these are what the devil uses and pretends as it is your weakness. It is his strength, but then the devil uses what should have been his strength as a weakness against him, and then it's now affecting a global population.
Yeah.
Because he does have the influence.
Yeah, and devil's the prince of the airwaves. So airwaves, radio, music, no, okay, connection. just saying, guys. Okay, we have a comment that says, "I like that. I like when you said to thine own self be true. What responsibility do each individual have for their own behavior, regardless of what influencers do? How to choose positive influence?"
Yeah, wow, that's a big one. That's a big one, Travel. But well, at the end of the day, persons like to play the blame game. You understand? And they would say, boy, it was because of, or it was because of. But think about you not being led astray by whatsoever the influence is. I'm big on self-fulfillment. You understand all the negative that is happening, but then you get the courage to either be the change or to follow the positive. The fulfillment that you would feel, and I say this because when I was actually backslidden, when I was out in the world as a backslider, because I got saved from a young age, but then through second school, that's secondary school.
Yeah.
I dropped out of church, and there was a lot of crazy happening. But then even in the midst of all of it, there were certain things that I conditioned my mind that no, I couldn't do this, because at the end of the day, my first passion was to become a preacher. I don't know if I'm still going to be a preacher, so I can't do this. So even with all of the craziness that was happening, I was saying to myself, I can't do all of this. And it took a lot of guts, a lot of courage to actually walk from those things that was fascinating at the time. You understand? All the tattoos, I had friends that were tattoos. I was at one point, I was a biker. You understand? And all of those, it took a lot of courage for me to walk away from. But then at the end of it, I felt so fulfilled. You understand? So I'll say to you, it's important that you monitor your decisions, because at the end of the day, irrespective of who led you to do it, you are going to be the guilty person. You understand? In the same time that Adam said that boy, is Eve that introduced him to the sinful thing. He had to be held accountable just the same. So think about it from that perspective.
That's awesome. That was awesome. And with that being said, we have to wrap up real quick. But before we go, can you sing a little bit about that song, Sweet Feelings, that inspired that back feeling? Acapella, put you on the spot.
I didn't get that.
Can you sing a little bit of the Sweet Feelings song?
My granny used to tell me how Jesus sweet. Jesus sweet, granny said Jesus sweet. The sweetness she attack no get diabetes. Diabetes, it no get diabetes. It make you jump, shout, run up and down. Happy up yourself, can't wait till Christ come. It make you jump, shout, and run up and down. And happy up yourself and tell sweet, sweet feeling.
I love it. I love it. That is an awesome way to end, guys. If you guys want to support Male Artist of the Year, the Sterling Gospel Award winner, Orville Sutherland, check him out on YouTube at Orville Cool Shade, and go on YouTube at Orville Sutherland Official. Check out his music, get his EP, and thank you so much for coming on our show today.
It was a wonderful privilege, and of course, don't be afraid to subscribe on the YouTube channel and share it with all of your groups, all of your pages.
Welcome to Wealth Mindset, a place where there is equal opportunity. A place where you decide, flourish, and commit. Where you have the freedom to be and thrive. Don't just fuel your passion, but walk in truth, in your divine purpose. Reap the rewards God has for you. Join us while we take a look inside the purpose mindset, where we look at business sense, money matters, coins and currency, and checks and balances. We talk about growing your network, net worth, and net income for your family and the community. Let's empower Black families and support UMERadio.com. Don't also forget UDMIBrands.com and FamilyAllTheWay.com.
Good morning, beautiful people. Happy Saturday. It's the last Saturday in the month of November. That's just absolutely amazing. But welcome to Wealth Mindset Show. Now, it is said that our lives are transformed when we renew our minds. So a wealthy life is therefore the product of a wealthy mindset. So this Wealth Mindset Show seeks to renew the mind that is proven, rather, with plans and proven principles and philosophies that will establish the right paradigms, the right ways of thinking, so that you can have prosperity in all areas of our life. I'm sure that each and every one of us want that. With a wealthy mindset, entrepreneurs and wealth seekers will be empowered to activate and innovate, create and elevate, to serve and to thrive, not just survive. We will inspire people of color to create wealth, to leave an inheritance for their children's children, and a legacy in them. A legacy that creates a new generation of wealthy mindsets. Hi there, I am Marsha Gay Miles, and welcome to our show, Wealth Mindset. Now, I am a digital entrepreneur, a digital wealth creator. I build digital businesses and investment portfolios, and I'm from Kingston, Jamaica. And I actually lead a movement of financial education and empowerment. And as a result, I have recognized some common factors that plague the majority who also seek to have financial enrichment, one that even rivals financial literacy, and that is a weak wealth mindset. It has even affected me. So how do you know you have a weak wealth mindset? Well, the reality is everybody knows that we're supposed to save. Everybody knows that we're supposed to invest. Everyone knows that. We've been taught it. It has been mentioned. You've heard it. But somehow we are still not making those changes. We're not actually applying what we have learned. That is how you know you have a weak wealth mindset. Now, understand this. The majority of us have it. So that is why we're having this show. We're having it so that we are developing and strengthening your mindset, because once your mind is absolutely set in the right way, it will be set up to create the wealth you desire. So again, this is the Wealth Mindset Show. Now, today's hot topic, the new economy and the new currency. Now, I already know that you're hearing new economy, new currency, and you're thinking, oh, she's talking about digital currency. She's talking about cryptocurrency. No, actually, I'm talking about what is being overlooked, what is actually way more valuable than those things. Actually, it's what will put those things in your hand, in your pocket, in your accounts. It's knowledge. It's information. There's so many articles that have come out recently, right? You're seeing on the screen, the Thrive Global, even Forbes magazine are expressing it. Knowledge. Is it the new economy? Is it the new currency? Sorry, knowledge is the new currency. Is it the new currency for careers? It is so much more important today to be investing in yourself and in your knowledge base. That is such a powerful thing. We've all heard the popular saying, knowledge is power. We've also heard that cash is king, cash is power. So knowledge is power, cash is power, knowledge is currency. It's making sense. Knowledge is the new currency. Now, what is amazing about knowledge being the currency? You know, we even heard in the word, we hear in the word, get knowledge at all cost. It's the beginning of wisdom, right? Well, that is why this is such a profound thing to understand. We need to position ourselves with knowledge, with information, with the right information. So there's a lot of information out there. We live in the information age. As you know, we have been evolving over the years. It was first the agricultural, then industrial, then we went into the corporate, and then we went into tech. Yeah, we're still in tech, digital. But now with the internet opening up the world of information to us all, like at the touch of our fingertips, at the tip of our fingertips, the touch of a button, we have access to information. But there's so much of it out there. So we have to also not just understand that it's powerful, but we also have to understand how to then sift it through, assimilate, and find the right information, one that will actually serve us. But it's just powerful to know that we actually have the real power. A lot of people invest in outside things. You know, how do I go about doing that? And that's why I actually love hosting this show, because I've always said it. If we can just help people renew the minds, it will renew every other thing in your life. And this is a perfect example. The currency is knowledge. The currency is information, which means you get to be your biggest asset. You get to invest in you. If you upskill you, if you educate you, if you improve the understanding in you, if you gain more wisdom, you are the most valuable thing. And thank God, because listen, you're the highest form of creation on this planet. So now you get the opportunity to live it out by upskilling yourself, by putting the power in your own hands, in your own mind. And there's a saying, if you fill your mind, you will fill your pockets. So I am so, so grateful that we have this ability through that. But, I also want to say, and I've always coined it, we heard about knowledge. Knowledge is information. But then understanding is interpretation. Do you know what this information coming at you means? The human mind wasn't really designed to absorb all the information coming at it, right? So we have to also, as I mentioned before, be very deliberate about understanding, well, what information is necessary, or how should I then take what I need from this information. So if you can be a specialist in that, you'll even be more valuable. Not just someone that just knows a lot of things. There are a lot of people that knows a lot of things, but you want to be the one that knows how to use what you know, have understanding. And then over time of using that, they say it takes 10,000 hours to become a master. When you become so good at interpreting information and understanding how the best information fits for the best scenario and be that bridge, you'll be the specialist. And that's now when they will call you master, specialist, wise. And that wisdom will unlock so much more power, because wisdom is that understanding of how to apply the application, the implementation of knowledge. So, ladies and gentlemen, get knowledge. Get knowledge. It is the beginning of all wisdom. It is your most valuable asset. It is the power, and you have it in your own hands. Now, what's amazing is that there are two ways that we can actually grow and thrive in this information age. You can decide that you want to go on that journey on your own. Go and get all the information in the world and try and figure out, and get understanding from all the information. And then after that, you can now try and apply and get those 10,000 hours, become wise, become a master. Or you can actually go and seek out someone who actually already knows, someone who's already been along that journey, someone who has those results and those answers, someone who's already a specialist. Some will call them coaches, some will call them mentors. And it is said that we learn through two ways: mistakes or mentors. Mentorship is actually the shortcut. And in most cases, yes, you're going to have to invest in a mentor, but you either invest time and time equity, sweat equity, or you invest in the time that they already invested to give yourself a leg up and a shortcut. And with that, I'm so happy to then introduce and segue into our guest for this morning. Now, we need to have that level of clarity, and mentorship guides us to that. And as we speak of mentors, our guest today herself is a mentor. Now, she is actually a certified entrepreneur, an author, a public speaker, with a mission to help entrepreneurs improve their systems and strategies so that they can increase their performance, their productivity, and I like to say their profits too, right? So she does this by helping them get unstuck and get clarity on their vision. I said it before, listen, so much information out there. Where do I start? Where do I begin? That's where she comes in. So her name is Brooke Wright, and she joins us here on the Wealth Mindset Show. Welcome to the conversation, Brooke. Such a pleasure to have you.
Blessings, blessings. Thank you for having me, Marsha.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we are going to jump right into it. Now, we will be discussing the entrepreneurship mindset and how we move, therefore, from vision to fruition, and you're a specialist at that. So I'm excited to have this conversation because I also get to learn a lot from your expertise. Now, so many want to be entrepreneurs, so many want to be their own boss, but they have no clue where to start. They have so much information overload. Yes, we live in the information era, but so much is coming at you. You don't even know where step one is. They are stuck. What are the steps to getting unstuck and to get moving forward?
Okay, well, to start this off, what I like to say is this. If you don't know the problem, how can you solve it, right? And so that's the first step to getting unstuck, is to get clear on what the problem actually is. So number one, self-reflect, right? Because self-reflection equals clarity. And that's how you're going to get clear on why you feel stuck, what got you to this point in your life, right? Number two, I would say, is to trust the process. Because when you trust the process, when you trust your life, when you trust your journey, when you trust your path more, that is what helps you to increase your self-belief, right? And when you believe in yourself, it's easier for you to do number three, make a decision, right? You have to make a decision if you really want to get unstuck, right? Decide, what do you want in your life? What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve? Where do you want to go? Who do you want to be? The list goes on. But you got to make a decision, because when you make a decision, then you can take action, right? And action is, well, how you get unstuck, because it's what helps you to move. So
listen, you're preaching. Self-reflect, trust the process, make a decision. Listen, you see that part? That's where so many people really get stuck.
Exactly.
That's where you really get stuck.
Exactly.
And I mean, I want to ask a question on that right there. So many of us have so many giftings and talents and so on. And there's so many decisions to make. How do you know which one to make first? Or do we just make one?
Yeah.
And just get going?
You have to get clear on, again, it comes back to self-reflection, right? You have to get clear on who you are. Like, what is your vision? Not what society envisions for you, not what your parents envision for you, not what your friends, your family, nobody, but what is your vision? What do you desire? What are your goals? Again, what do you want to achieve in life? What is your outcome? Some people may think, like, sometimes I think a little bit morbid, but when you think of questions like, what do you want on your tombstone, right? When you die, what do you want on your list of things that you have done? All that kind of questions and self-reflection is going to help you to get clear, right? And you got to get clear on who you are, because it goes back to what I was saying earlier. If you don't know what the problem is, how are you going to solve it, right? But it's the same thing. If you don't know yourself, if you don't know what you want, how are you going to get it? How are you going to create the life that you want if you don't even know and you're not clear on what that looks like?
That's strong. That's strong. And actually, that actually puts me to that second question. You already answered it. Because, my definition of vision is the revelation of what God has for your future. What God put in you, and he's kind of showing it to you, right? Yeah. So we really and truly, vision is knowledge. Vision is information, right? So we get that vision. And you highlighted it just now. Why is clarity of vision a major key to getting unstuck?
Well, just like I said, right? Being clear on your vision is simple, right? But if you don't know, again, what you want in life, like, how can you get it, right? Like, if you don't know what your goals are, how can you achieve them, right? Simple things. Like, if you don't even know what you want in a relationship, how can you attract that person, right? If you don't know what you want to do with your career, how can you build the life that you want, right? So you have to be clear on who you are and what you want. And it's funny because a lot of people really don't know this, right? I was teaching a workshop the other day, and I asked the students, and I said, if there was anything you could do or be in life, what would it be? And most of the class couldn't even answer, right? And it's because they don't self-reflect. They don't give themselves the time to gain that clarity about who they are, what they want, what kind of life do they really want to build for themselves. I think a lot of times people think just because you're born into a certain life that you have to die living that life, but that's not true, right? That's not true. It's like that saying, if you're born into poverty, it's not your fault, but if you die poor, it's your fault, right? And it's the same thing across the board.
That's strong. That's strong. And even in this season that we are all in, we're all experiencing this global season of slow down. And a few weeks ago, I mentioned on one of the episodes when we were talking about the Great Resignation. And one of the reasons so many people participated in that pause, that maybe I should just resign, maybe I should switch, is because they actually had time to slow down, to be still, and to self-reflect. So you are right. That's powerful. That absolutely is one of the major keys and first steps. Thank you for that. Thank you for highlighting that. Now, once that vision is clear, what are some of the practical steps? Now that we've made a decision, what other steps now must be taken now that we've done that?
Well, action. Literally, like you have to take action. And I think that's another problem that a lot of people have is a lot of people have these goals, or when they do get clear on their goals, right, or their desires or their vision, they forget the step is that you have to take action, right? You can't just assume things are just going to happen to you and life is going to come to you. You got to get up every single day and take action, right? And that looks different for everybody, whether it's taking action mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, occupationally, whatever. You got to get clear on what is it that you need to do now, right? What steps you need to make in order to create the life that you want, in order to achieve your goals and attract the desires and all that good stuff, right? But first, that's the step that you need to take is once you get clear on who you are, what you want, right? Then you make that decision, like I said earlier, then you got to actually get up and go, okay, I'm going to do what I need to do, right? I'm going to take action. I'm going to follow these steps to get to where I want to be.
Absolutely. Like you said earlier, action looks different for everyone. And we're talking about entrepreneurs right here, and we understand that journey, that progressive action, the process is different for every single entrepreneur. Why is it so important, therefore, that we appreciate not just the end result of what the entrepreneur, the solution, what the entrepreneur is actually provided, but also appreciate the process. So many people, again, we look at the fruits and we don't look at the root. We look at the story, the glory, but don't know the story. Why is it so important that we value the process and don't forget it?
Well, being an entrepreneur myself, like I value the process. Like I think the process is beautiful. You know what I'm trying to say? I have a positive perception about it. But I think it's important to appreciate the process because the process is the proof, right? It's the proof of the outcome. It's the proof of, what led you to the outcome, what led you to the result, the product, the solution, whatever, right? The process is your proof. It's your story. It's your journey, And so I think it's all about perception and how you see things. So I look at the process to be a beautiful thing. It's our life journey. It's our story that we get to share with people at the end of the day, right? Once we do reach that pivotal moment, we can look back and be like, look, this is what the process looked like. This is what it took to get me here. And now we can share that with other people in hopes to empower them and inspire them and motivate them, right? So I feel like the process is, it's a beautiful thing, but it's also just to prove to, to prove to our outcomes and our results.
Well, we have some comments here, and I just wanted, producer to bring that back. Satin Brown is saying, valuing the process. That is where we've hit the nail on the head. Lack of value is why sometimes people quit. Lack of the value and the understanding, and like you mentioned, the positive perspective on that becomes the teaching. That becomes the thing. We've often heard that, people who win the lottery the next day, or not the next day, I'm exaggerating, but within a year they're broke. Or, all these successful persons that come upon success and then shortly after they're broke because they didn't really go through due process, due understanding, due growth. And therefore that value, or rather that journey that would have molded them into what would be necessary to recreate it. I think that's why the process is so powerful for me, because once it's imprinted in your DNA, because you did it, you went through it, then if anything happens, you can do it again. When you just get the glory, when you just get that real quick microwave, if it leaves you, you can't ever get it back, because that was a once in a lifetime. But when you go through the process and you value it, absolutely stays with you. Well, listen, Brooke, That was powerful. At the end of every episode, I tend to recommend a book of the week. But like we mentioned earlier, you're an author. You're an author. I know you have 2 books, but there's one book I want to recommend. Yes, there we go. The Performance Code.
Yes,
Brooke,
yes.
speak about how that will help any entrepreneur right now to get unstuck, to get from vision to fruition. Talk
Yes,
about it.
definitely. So my book, The Performance Code, is definitely for people who feel like they are not performing their best. They're constantly unproductive, and they maybe feel like they're not tapped into their full potential. And so this book is for you. It's going to help you get clear on the thoughts, the feelings, the beliefs, the habits, and the behaviors one has that is holding them back, right? Because again, like I said earlier in the questions, how can you solve a problem if you don't know what the problem is? And so that's what this book helps you to do. It's going to help you to get clear on exactly your internal problems that's holding you back, and so that in order for you to move forward and fully tap into your potential.
That's it right there. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, The Performance Code. And where else can we find you, Brooke?
Yes, definitely. My website is brookewritemyname.com. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, all over at brookewrite.com. So you guys can definitely connect with me there.
What I love is that your right is written as right. W-R-I-T-E. So, ladies and gentlemen, Brooke Wright. Thank you so much, Brooke, for sharing your insights, sharing your wisdom, and sharing your experience with us. And that was Brooke Wright, ladies and gentlemen. And this has been, yes, thank you again. This has been another phenomenal episode of the Wealth Mindset Show. I hope you are encouraged. I hope that you're informed and inspired. I can tell you personally, I absolutely am myself. I just learned a lot from Brooke. Listen, go and cop the book. Go and cop the book, The Performance Code. What I love is how she said, the thoughts to the feelings to the behaviors and habits that lead to your results, ladies and gentlemen. Your results aren't because of what you keep doing. It's because of what's going on inside. So let's fix the inside so we can get the outside right. Now, it's been my absolute pleasure to lead and learn with you this morning. And let's get connected. You can find me on all social platforms as well. My name, Marsha Gay Miles, G-A-Y-E, Miles, or the Lifestyle Engineer. Now, remember to like, to share, subscribe, and to click that notification bell for notifications of when we go live or we upload new videos or also so that you are getting access to watching your recordings. Now, please share comments. Share the comments. We love getting your feedback. It's your viewers' comments that normally lead to many of our upcoming episodes. This episode was actually driven by a viewer's feedback. So I'm grateful to that viewer, from vision to fruition and the value of the process. Now, speaking of vision, I close by saying always hold your vision. Keep the faith. Stay in gratitude and live on purpose. Goodbye for now. See you next week. And we will now close out with a special message from one of our partners here in today's Spotlight. Bye-bye.
Apostle Dr. Faith Walters and Women and Men of Excellence Outreach Ministries presents our annual Thanksgiving Community Outreach Drive. So I am hoping and praying that you will, those who can donate some finances or donate some packs of food. I do dry food if the packs, little packs, let the Lord move in your heart if you want to do that, or you could send the donation to the ministry and I could take care of it that way. It's our annual Thanksgiving Community Outreach Drive, and that will be held on Tuesday, November 16, 2021. And it's going to be at my usual spot, 34-56 East 3rd Street, Mount Vernon, New York. The time is 2 p.m. to 3:30. And of course, it's while supplies last. And, in 2 Corinthians 9:7 says, for God loves the person who gives cheerfully. So we enjoy giving in this ministry as part of what we do connected to the community. So again, invite people to come out on Tuesday, November 16th, 2021 for our annual Thanksgiving Community Outreach Drive. I don't give out turkeys, because I don't have any facilities for that. So I just do what God put on my heart. I mostly give dry goods. So you'll be able to have a meal for most likely for a day or two, or even last a week. You know, I have little things in the packages that I give out, and it's a pleasure doing that. So I'm just grateful to the Lord that we're able to do this on a monthly basis to help the community. So, and, you know, continue to spread the love of Jesus and continue to spread the word of the Lord, because God's word has to go forth by any means necessary. So I'm grateful to the Lord for that. And I'm just really excited about what he's doing. I have the first book, Poems About My Self-Esteem. That's it's on the website. It's on there for $12. And it's help you if you have problems with low self-esteem. This book will certainly help you and touch you and make your life change. Okay, so yeah, I have one here that says, what is a smile? A smile lights up your day. It makes your face bright. It sends sunshine when there is pain. So, always keep a smile even when you're having a bad day. Smile a little, it makes the world go around. So even as you are going through, yes, girl, I was still smiling and going on same way. All right, when I'm in pain, yes. So this is a powerful book. The poetry is very short and to the point, but even though they're short, they're deep. So you got to take some time to really think about them and just get them in your spirit and let it get deep down in you and for you to really understand, you know, what it's trying to say to you. All right. And I have my new book that came out in July, and the book is Reborn. And this book is just talking about the personal story about my journey from a place of despair, from a place of darkness, to fulfilling God's purpose in my life. This book is also transform your life as well. It will make your life different. It shares some, not even all of it, just some a synopsis of some of the things I experienced while growing up in the church and growing up in a family, you know, that I thought loved me and didn't realize that I had to do it by myself, but because of God, he helped me to get through it, to bring me to a place of where I am today. So book is to encourage you that if you are in a place of darkness and you are surrounded by people who are supposed to love you and they don't demonstrate that love, know that God is there for you. And take some time to pen your thoughts, because you never know who's going to pick up your book one day. When you're gone from this, when it time has come, you're gone from this world. You're leaving legacies. These are things you're leaving behind for your loved ones to read, and you never know who will pick it up wherever they are. And we have the supernatural highway now that's everywhere, you know. So, you know, you'd be surprised where people find words that can help them.
Hey, wherever you are in the world today, good morning, good evening, good night. I'm Keith, and welcome to our show, Travel Boss. Like I said last week and the week before, Travel Boss. Yes, we're going to boss up with the travel today. Yes, so today I'm really excited about being here to share with you, the audience, some important information as it relates to travel. You know, there's no saying we don't plan to fail, or we often fail to plan. And so we sometimes end up in some very stressful situations that are usually avoidable. All right, so planning here is an extremely important part of our lives. If you've been tuning into Travel Boss the last few weeks, you might have heard some information on travel as it relates to just location wise. You might have heard travel as it relates to destinations and maybe help with travel and planning and that kind of thing. But travel do involve preparation, and as I look to bring information on this travel, yes, it's fun, it's exciting to talk about travel and to look at potential destinations where we want to go. We have our own little, you know, fantasies or some of our desires to travel at that location and this location, maybe exotic locations, and we dream of these things and we watch other people traveling and we're like, when will my day come when I travel that exotically or go here or there? A lot of us are we tied on to a 9 to 5, and we sometimes don't have the time that we would like to have, because the life demand, family wise and other ways. But I think that a big part of life and having a healthy life is how we manage our stress level. All right. And the stress level, and there are certain stresses that comes with travel. So today we're going to talk about, as this show progresses, we're going to talk about some hot deals. We're going to share some hot deals with you and that kind of thing. I learned some lessons traveling, some small lessons I learned, and I think that I really see firsthand how not being prepared, can make the travel experience a nightmare. Now, I give an example. I remember traveling recently, and I had some very important things that I want to bring down. Some personal care stuff, and didn't realize that the size of what I was carrying those things in was also important. So it wasn't the product itself; it was the amount. And so a lot of what I got had to be taken out of my bag and never to be seen again. All right. So yeah, it was painful because I bought these things. They're my hard-earned dollars here. Somebody's taken. So I had to buy them again when I got to my destination. So little ideas and tips are important to understand. Now, another thing that's important, and as a matter of fact, have you ever experienced traveling, maybe flying somewhere, and you went to the airport and forgot maybe your documents? It could be a visa. You might have been rushing out of the house, and you forgot it. Now you feel so lost, right? Because it was important to have the documentation on you. But if you look at preparation, I think one of the keys is to have a checklist. Right? So a checklist is very fundamental and very foundational in doing that last minute checklist. Okay, did I have this? Check it off. Do I did this? Check it off. Do I have this in my bag? You check it off. So that checklist, it keeps you informed, at the moment of leaving your home or wherever you're leaving from, because you can't afford to have these kind of situations where you're stressed. And everything is tied into our health or healthy we are. And I was surprised, and maybe you have when you heard that the number one killer in life is stress. All right. So many people who might have had a minor illness, it became exacerbated. It became, magnified because of the stresses that was around that. We already live in a world where we have our jobs, and that's enough to deal with. Some of us live in the city where we're dealing with traffic and combustion and rush hour and bills, and just life conditions. So whatever we can do, as I said earlier, to alleviate or lessen the stress, we are doing our body, our mind, our soul, our spirit good. All right. So let's talk about some things that I think that we ought to think about. And some people may know these things off the hand. They're very experienced. They've traveled. They know what is needed. They have their go-to guide or their go-to person, for updates. And some people are they say they take initiatives, and a lot of us are not. And you're probably the one I'm probably appealing to this morning, the ones who just wait till the last minute. You like that rush, I guess. But there are people who just don't know these things. So if you know it, good for you. But I think it's important to understand. Now, a little about myself, for those of you or who may not know, I'm a kind of an eclectic person, all right, in terms of just involved in different things. As a musician, I traveled that way as well. Traveled as a family man. I love sports. I particularly I love tennis. Tennis is one of my favorite sports, and I played it for many years, and coached the game, and trying to get my son into playing it now. So I've been working with him this past summer, and he's actually getting pretty good. Love music. I'm a business owner. I think that is good to own. And if you go to mytravelwishlist.com, there are links there to where you can see how you can become an owner, right? Owner in different ways. So a lot of people may have an idea, what can I own? We see how the world is going, and we see how the job market is, is unstable, and we see how future pensions that we used to hearing about in times past is maybe a thing of the past. Some of these benefits that a person would work 10, 30, 40 years for in years past would have been great. But as time goes on, we find that those things are slowly dissipating, and so we have to look for other means and ways to secure our future, as we heard on the show previously, with investments, mindset, and just kind of, just improving ourselves in a rounded way. So we want to be healthy. So, and we do get to the age of retirement, or we want to just travel in our youth, we are healthy. No health, I'm not sure how happy you're going to be, but our health makes me feel wealthy, makes me feel vibrant and strong, and just want to go at it. You know what I mean? And that's a blessing. So I'm going to take you to an article that is going to just give you some important things on what it means to travel. And this is coming from travel.state.gov. It's the U.S. Department of State Bureau of Counselor's Office. So this right here is a very short but powerful list of things that we want to think of. And as you also heard in the last show, we talk about getting information. Information is actually the new oil. All right. Get informed. Knowing having information can be very not only empowering but freeing. So I'm going to ask DJ Kelly to kind of help me share this document with you and kind of just trash it through a little bit and kind of share with those who may not be in awareness of the importance of documentation and how they can prepare this. DJ Kelly, how are you?
Hi, Keith. How are you?
Welcome. I tell you.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Yes, you're welcome. And you know me already in fine print, so I'm working on it.
That's why we're here. That's why the ladies are here.
Thank you.
We're here to support our men.
Yeah. Oh, see that? Oh, all the love in the world. All the love in the world. Yeah. Yes,
so under the traveler's checklist, the first one, and this is travel. It's the resource that we're using is from travel.state.gov. So you can visit that website at any point in time. It is a government. It's an official government website. U.S. government. So it's U.S. Department of State, Bureau of Current Affairs, travel.state.gov. So you can
Yes.
always visit that. And we're also going to be having this travel checklist available for you at mytravelwishlist.com by the end of the day. Okay. So, number one, get informed. Safety and security information. You need to read the travel advisory and alerts for the countries you will be visiting at travel.state.gov//destination. Please, it's important for you to do so. We're also going to share this information with you on Travel Boss when we separate the shows and we upload them on YouTube, so you can get to access it. And the same place to access it is mytravelwishlist.com. So you can watch this episode later at mytravelwishlist.com for this information again, and it will be shared in the description. Okay. The second one under getting informed, and before Wealth Mindset, right, Keith? She spoke about knowledge
Yes.
is currency.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It really is.
The second one is crisis planning. And this, I think, is something you should have across the board, all areas of life, right? A crisis plan, crisis management plan. So crisis planning. And there it says, read Crisis Abroad, be ready. So there's information that they provide for you that you can read this information and make an evacuation plan that does not rely on the U.S. government. Listen to that. That does not rely on the U.S. government.
Yes. That's
consider
important.
buying emergency evacuation insurance. Evacuation insurance.
Something I didn't know I did with until
Right?
recent. So I'm learning too. I'm with you on this one here.
Yes, I had some access to this kind of information because I'm a travel blogger, and I've traveled for work. And when you travel for work, you get to learn a lot of the things that as a regular traveler you may not have to worry about. But if you're traveling for work, there are some things you may have to be more mindful of. Yes.
Right.
And number 4 under getting info. Go ahead.
No, go right ahead. Yes. Go. After you finish reading, we're gonna kind of dissect them a little bit. Yeah. Once you finish reading, we're gonna kind of dissect them a little bit more. Yeah. But go ahead.
Yes. Okay. So, and I'm sharing this on the screen. Under get informed, number 4 is health precautions. Your health abroad.
Yes.
Your health abroad, and check out recommendations for vaccinations and other health considerations from the U.S. Center for Disease Control and World Health Organization. These are all things to consider when you're about to travel. And then number 4, money matters. Before going abroad, notify your bank and credit card companies of your travel and check exchange rates.
That's
very important. So there are 4 things under the tab that says get informed. 4 things: safety and security information, crisis planning, health precautions, money matters. That is under get informed. We have 3 more. Get required documents is number 2. And we'll go through this one. So the first, and they have bullets below. So we're just going to go through the bullets. So safeguard your documents.
Yes.
Safeguard your documents. Make 2 copies of all your travel documents in case of emergency. People treat it like exam.
2 copies, guys. 2 copies. That's what you may lose one.
Your examination. And you have all these copies of documents because you don't want to lose anything. So just treat it that way, right? Make 2 copies of everything. Leave 1 copy with a trusted friend or relative at home.
Yes.
Right.
And also too, even like you have a hard copy, and you have copies also like on maybe in a thumb drive that you can also upload anywhere you go as well. Because we in a digital space, so you have to have both. Yes.
You know what I do oftentimes whenever I'm going to do anything, I WhatsApp it to myself.
There you go.
I put it on my phone, or and I make it available via Google Workspace. So that anywhere I'm at, I can have access, right?
There
so
you
that
go.
safeguard your documents. And under safeguarding your document, passport, apply several months in advance for a new passport. If you
As a matter of fact,
one, it should be valid for at least 6 months after you return home, and have blank pages depending on your destination.
Yes. As a matter of fact, DJ Kelly, I realized that a lot of people don't know that their passport is expired even at this moment.
Wow.
So what you want to do, folks, go and check your passport. Sometimes you probably forgot where you put it. Maybe if you try to find it now, you probably might be wondering, where is the passport? Right. And maybe you put it up really safe, but you don't remember where you put it. So at least if you're in this show, you know what? I've not traveled for a while. COVID's been locked down. I mean, have us locked down for a while. And so a lot of people didn't travel as they probably would. You know,
Right.
so go and check for the passport and see if it's still if it has expired. If
Right.
it didn't, if it has expired, immediately try to work on getting it renewed.
And
Because
you can
yes,
go to travel, and just to let them know, travel boss. You see, these days, well, having a travel advisor is very, very important.
yes,
There's a reason they exist.
mm-hmm.
There's a reason they exist, because they are in the field. They are on top of whatever information is available. They have to follow that information. You
Yes,
are busy living your life and doing your job elsewhere.
mm-hmm.
So let's say your job is a teacher. You have all the information for the education sector, because you have to stay up to date with it. Someone in travel is doing
Yes,
the same thing. So
yes,
while it's important, and while what's important to manage your budget,
mm-hmm.
don't be pound
Penny
penny
pinching, penny
wise and
pinching,
pound wise
penny.
and penny foolish, or penny foolish and pound wise, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Right. Something like that.
Oh
Penny
boy.
wise and pound foolish. That's what it is.
Yes, yes.
Right? Make sure you get the right advice, because sometimes you go and you try to book the travel yourself, and there are things that you just never thought about.
Yes,
Then you
and
come
things have changed so much over the
and it's
last
changing
number of
so
years.
rapidly.
Mm-hmm,
It's
mm-hmm.
changing so rapidly.
Yeah.
And the worst part, it's not when you're leaving. Because if you're attempting to leave, and they stop you and they vet and they check everything, and if something is wrong, you're home, right?
Mm-hmm.
But just imagine something is wrong and you are not home.
Yes.
You are
That
at
is
your
when.
destination and you're trapped there.
Yeah.
You must know where to go.
Yes, and as I mentioned to you, DJ Kelly, earlier, that the stress level for these things can be so
Yeah.
intense.
Yeah. What is supposed
You
to
don't
be
want that
something
stress.
fun and
Yeah,
amazing
yeah, you don't
can
want that
become a
stress.
headache. Right.
Yes,
And
yes.
that's why my travelwishlist.com is there, because we're all about empowerment and giving you access
Yes,
to information and
yes.
access to resources, so
Mm-hmm.
that you can have better outcomes, more positive outcomes.
There you
Right?
go.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
indeed, indeed.
So my travel wish list, as you can see, I'm sharing my screen. Let me share the screen.
Yes.
And we're going to go back to the list, Keith. And we may have to do the list in 2 shows, because
We
it's a lot of
we do,
information.
because
I'm gonna
it's
rush through
important.
it.
It's
Right.
we're not we
Yes.
shouldn't rush things, because
Yes.
like I said, a lot of people really don't know. They're really kind of
Right.
behind the curveball with planning these things,
Yeah.
because and they want to travel.
Absolutely.
They
Yeah.
want to travel.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
want to
I
be
love
empowered,
traveling. Yeah.
Yes.
Travel for me is like therapy,
I hear you.
because I don't like feeling trapped or stuck.
Yes.
And travel
Yes.
for me helps me broaden my scope,
Yeah.
and help me understand that there are no limits. I may not have something where I'm currently located, but I could
Mhm.
easily travel to another place where it is available.
Listen, DJ Kelly. I went. Listen, I grew up in a countryside in Jamaica, right? And
Mhm.
where I grew up, in the mornings we'd hear the cock crow, man. And some of these, there's a bird called a nightingale. The sound was The sound was incredible. The feel of the fresh dew in the morning, and that sunrise,
Yeah.
and the cocks crowing.
It's something
Oh my
special.
God!
It's
I traveled about 2 years ago, and I stayed at the Airbnb. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I heard the cock crow in the morning. It was a similar kind of feel. It was amazing. It was like music.
brought you back home, huh?
Oh man! So I know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. So and having a smooth travel. Some
Yeah.
people, when they finish traveling, they're being traumatized, and it
Yes.
has been so traumatic that they travel for 2 weeks, and the first week is recovering from the trauma.
I would
The
love,
first 2
if you don't
days,
mind, I would love to share an experience I had with you.
please do.
Right? And I'm going to attempt to share, because like I said, I blog about my travel, and
Nice.
I just want to share. I want to share this. This was my travel to Denmark and Sweden. Right?
Ooh,
So that's
look
me.
at that! Look at that! Watch it now.
Yes.
That colloquial
And
feeling there. I like that.
listen, it was such a beautiful experience, right?
Wow.
But it did not come without its issues. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
this, like my blog state, my travel to Sweden
Yeah.
was a work travel. I got a great opportunity to travel to Denmark, which led us to traveling to Sweden. So let me tell you how we ended up in Sweden, okay? Because we left
Uh-oh.
here to travel to Denmark.
Sounds scary. Sounds scary.
Copenhagen.
Uh-oh.
Copenhagen for it was the sexual and reproductive health I don't remember what you call conference, global conference.
Gotcha.
Yes. And I'm so grateful to the government of Jamaica and the place I work at the time for giving me that opportunity. It was absolutely amazing. But I remember when we left Jamaica, right? There were 3 of us traveling. And I remember we had one of the board members with us, which was also an elder. So she was the older of the 3 of us, right?
Yeah.
And some interesting things started happening.
Wow.
I remember the first thing that happened was that she left her one of her suitcases, the small one, the one with her money and stuff, was left.
Stress already.
Back at the airport in Jamaica, right? Then when we got there, and then it's as though I automatically became the person in charge. Like everyone was coming to
Okay,
me.
Raquel, take over. We lost right now.
Yes, and I mean, I was like ahead because I moved fast, you know. And I remember when we got to Denmark, we were supposed to stay at a particular hotel. So we got off the airplane, got to, and I think we were in flight like 2 nights. I remember sleeping 2 nights in the airplane, you know.
Wow.
It's a long flight and it was connecting flights.
Wow.
And I think it was like 3 different flights. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when we got there, tired and ready, and it's raining. You just want to go inside, drop everything, and just, you know. And I remember when we got to the hotel and we went to the desk and asked them. I think it was the lady, that's the board person, because she was the one in charge. She first went, and then she came back to me and she said, "Raquel, they said we don't have a room here." Like I said, I don't know why I became the person in charge, but yes. And I remember I went and I'm like, but it has to be there. So I went to the desk and I'm like, no, man, you probably need to check again. Let me give you some additional information. Check under this name. Check under that name. Check under this name. Check under the company name.
So didn't even know what name to check under.
I know, right? So it was like, he said, well, there was a booking I can see here, but they checked out. And the reservation was canceled. So our board chair had gone ahead of us, right? And she was staying at the hotel, I guess, to make sure everything is good before we get there because we're the lowly employees, right? Yes. At the time, I was an acting director, and I remember when he said that it's raining outside. We don't know where we are. We've only been here for the first time.
My goodness.
So I didn't
no travel guide.
I
no
know
travel guide with you.
Okay. And I'm calling, and you're traveling on per diem.
Oh, wow.
Right? So you're not at liberty to just spend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when we called back the office and everything, they're like, oh my gosh, they're just hearing that the chair had canceled it. And then when we eventually got through to the chair, she's saying there's no way we could stay in that hotel. It wasn't up to par and blah, blah, blah. But then there was nothing else booked. So we're now trying to see if we can get something booked everywhere, nowhere is available because of the conference.
Oh my goodness.
So we ended up getting one room to stay in at the hotel where she was staying because she hadn't booked a room for us either. Nothing was booked until we got there. And we're standing there hoping they could, because they didn't really have a room. They had to like give us somebody else's room for the night, but we only had it for one night.
Oh my.
Right? Because there was nothing booked for us. Can you imagine being in a strange place and nothing is booked?
That's called stress on steroids.
Yes. So
the double S.
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. It's important to connect with people who this is what they do. So and you have to be able to think on your feet, because at that time everybody's looking at me, you know, and well, true to form, it's how I am. I'm solution oriented. So I was already like, I'm trying to find solution. I'm calling people I know in Europe. I'm calling one in the UK. I'm like, check, you know, and like making demands, you know. And when we stayed the night over, then we eventually had to move because, again, no space. So we had to now drive over to Sweden, and we stayed in Malmo because there was no place for us to stay. I just wanted to share that. It was
powerful because
exciting.
Yes, it's powerful because the thing is that, you know, what better way or what source to reach out to who have had the experience too, because you know, it's one thing to say, well, travel, but you haven't done so. You know, one to say go here, but you haven't done so. So so it's good to have the experience
Yes.
firsthand. Just listen, guys.
Yes.
It's important to have these kind of that kind of preparation, man, because it
Yeah.
can be a real challenge when you're there. And
Yes.
sometimes we do travel. We have a budget set aside. We don't want to really mess that budget up.
And I'm telling you, Keith, that's another story I can share with you on here after we returned.
Yes,
it was
because,
something, and maybe we can one day talk about
Mhm.
Traveling for your work, where work travel, where
Work travel. Yes, yes.
where your place of employment send you somewhere.
Hmm.
What responsibilities and accountabilities do they have? Because I
Yes.
remember this experience. I took the best from the experience, but if I
Yeah.
really looked at it, it was a
Mhm.
terrible experience
Wow.
from a workplace perspective, in that you just left us out there, and then when we came back, all they were concerned about was how much money did you spend, and if you went over the budget
Oh,
and you're
wow.
supposed to pay it back. It was a whole thing, but that's a whole other story. Perhaps you can invite me and I can talk about it, and I think it's important to talk about, because
Yes.
sometimes we get so excited I'm getting an opportunity,
Yes. Yes.
but
It's
that
true.
opportunity can cost your life.
Yes.
And who is going
Yes.
to be accountable when you're done?
Yes, the process needs to be vetted, because the
Yes.
company break up, but sometimes the company are people incompetent too. They're incompetent there. They're not
It's
always
real humans running.
they're not always excited about obviously someone in travel either.
Well,
But
there you go.
that's why I said you have to take accountability and say, you know what?
Yes.
Ask the questions, but sometimes
Yes.
you don't know the questions to even ask. Go to
Yes.
a professional.
One of the biggest
Right?
lessons I've learned
Yes,
from
go to
traveling
professional and
is
ask
I
them.
need to have a relationship with a travel
Yes,
agent.
exactly. Even to
Yes.
ask them
Just
what do I need
somebody
to
I can
ask.
call anytime.
Yes.
Just somebody I
Yes.
can just can call or whatever, because there are so many things with this trip, but I'm very grateful for it, and
Wow.
it was meant for me to do, for me
Yeah,
to learn, because travel.
I can hear the excitement in the voice.
Yeah.
Like, just keep
Travel
going.
is freedom,
Yeah.
man. Travel is freedom.
Yes.
If you feel stuck, if you feel depressed, if you feel
Yeah.
sad, if you feel like you don't know what to do, travel. Not carelessly, but
Yeah.
travel.
As a matter of fact,
And don't just travel to go spend time with a friend.
Yeah.
No, travel to go learn, to go travel as an
Mhm.
investment, as an investor, travel to go build a business.
Yes.
Really use that opportunity in travel. There are people who
Yeah.
travel and just stay in the house the whole time.
Yes.
Like
and
get out, meet
yeah,
people,
it's
learn the
true. It's so
culture, so
true.
you can build your
Mhm.
offering for your entrepreneurship. You
Yeah.
can expand yourself.
Yes.
I talk a lot, so
Hey, listen, travel gets me going too. I mean, I
Yes.
have plans to do stuff
Big
in
deal.
Jamaica, even in Africa as well. I have plans to do some stuff,
Yes.
business wise and connecting wise. I mean, I think it's important.
Yes.
But I love the excitement, DJ Kelly. I think that this was great. And you see, we don't touch on one or two things, but you see how important
Yes, so
it
I
is.
just want to let them know
Mhm.
where we're at, and then next week we could
Yes.
continue. We were under get required documents.
Yes.
Mentioned your passport here, your visas, medications,
Cost and the kind. Yes.
consent for travel with minors,
Yes.
international driving permits.
Oh, wow.
So
These are
we're going to stop
critical.
there for today because of time, but they also have get enrolled. You want to rush
Yes.
through it? So you have Smart Traveler and enrollment program, and you have
Yes.
Twitter and Facebook for TravelGov.
Mhm.
And then it says get insured. Travel insurance is so important, and so
Yes,
get
it is.
insured: health insurance, emergency evacuation, and unexpected expenses. So these are the four. So we pretty much covered all of them. So for additional information, just go to mytravelwishlist.com,
Mhm.
and if you go to the website, let me find it for you. Where is it? If you go to the website, you just click on TV show. And as you can see, just right here, quickly, we're here to help you. My Travel Wish List is here to help you help you fulfill your travel dreams. And here are some of the services that they cover. They browse, they give you access to travel deals. So you
Yes.
get the latest special offers and incentives from the world's top cruise lines, hotels, resorts, vacation
right.
companies, and other travel partners, including flight. So the flights over here. I was gonna say including flights.
Yes,
And then you have
flights,
flights
your
and
cruises.
cruises separate,
Mhm.
air booking, engine searches, over 900 airlines for all published airfare. And let me see if I click here if it would go. I don't know what's happening here.
Right. So while that's opening, I'll go back to it. So yeah, so that's flights and cruises. Then you have hotel and vacation rentals. Fulfill your travel dreams and experience the luxury you desire. We'll help you book the right hotel or vacation rental that is affordable and memorable. And then this is one we're talking about, Keith. Travel documents, your passport and visa expediting services, travel insurance, and other support services to ensure your trip runs smoothly. We're here for you. That's My Travel Wish List. That's from mytravelwishlist.com. And it's very easy to get their support. You just go, you complete the customer booking form, and they have the insurance waiver form there, the credit card form, or whatever it is that, so you can go, and then they have the booking flights, accommodations,
rentals. Yes, it's really comprehensive, guys. It's a complete
tours and cars. And I was telling you earlier about the search engine where you can go to book a flight. I'm just waiting for it to come up. But when you come on the website to get the information, you just go to TV show and you'll get access to Travel Boss episodes, all the episodes that are here. So for today's information, you just go there and you click TV show, mytravelwishlist.com, click TV show, and you'll be able to watch this again. And all the links will be in the description. Let's see if the engine came up.
Yes.
Right, it hasn't. Okay, here we go. So this is where, see right here, you can click, if you can see it on the screen, this is the travel data. This is the travel database for My Travel Wish List. You can see you have promo codes, you have hot deals, the deals of the week and stuff. And right here, you can book whether it's cars, cruises, flights, hotels, vacations, and insurance. And
really simple, right? Directly right there, guys.
Just like all the regular, wherever you go. Yeah, when you go looking for flights or whatever the case may be, it's pretty simple and easy for you. So DJ KTE or Keith for here.
Yes. DJ KTE. Yes.
DJ KTE. That's your travel information for today. I hope it was useful.
Oh, awesome. So folks, again, I hope that you really got some information down. You maybe had your pen and pencil. But again, you can come back here, mytravelwishlist.com. You can just search us out and see how we can benefit you. At the end of the day, it's really about strengthening you and giving you the right information to, again, lessen your stress. We are already going through tough situations. We just came to a tough pandemic and still going through it. And folks, we want to do everything possible to have a stress-free life. All right. So again, welcome, folks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this content, because it's about also sharing. To sharing is caring. All right. And so here in Travel Boss, to all you out there, thank you for joining us here on UMERADIO. And from whatever platform you're from, we wish you a great, healthy life. And that's, if you have travel plans, they will go well. And we're here for you. mytravelwishlist.com. So see you again next week, same place, same time. All right. All right. And then don't forget to go to shopandown.com. Ship now. All right. So you can check out some things there. Whatever you need to order, it's right there. And traveling preparation. So we got it all here for you in one under one umbrella. So to make your experience easy, smooth, and you can have an effective and a desired outcome. Again, this is Keith with Travel Boss. Take care, be blessed, and see you next time.